we will start our first chapter revision of history, that is the modern period. In the modern period, I have written the important points which came from the chapters from where the answer case maybe made it in your examination. So first, in the first topic that is given that history is a study of changing pattern in society. The main aim to study the modern period, firstly, to know the modern period, we have to go back. पीछे जाना पड़ेगा हमें. So to learn how the modern period, we have to know that how what the history was. So history क्या है? Changing pattern of the society. Past, what has happened in the past, that is your history. We know that no two periods are common. ना, कुछ समय बाद पहले कुछ था और अब कुछ और हो गया, so that no common, nothing will be same. So we try how the things were in the past and how they have changed over the year. That is history. How they are changed. So we know in this chapter, this topic will be history. क्या है? History. History is a study of common people, their lives, how their new ideas were, how they were living. This all will be the history of any person. Yeah? This all will be the history of anything. And this history will be calculated according to the dates, because dates in histories are linked to the events. So this history can be calculated through the dates. Next topic which is given in your book, that is periods in history. Periods in history is divided into three parts. Periods in history will be divided into three parts. Three period, medieval period, ancient period, and the modern period. Ancient means बहुत पहले के समय. Medieval, mid period, 18th century से start होता है, that is 18th century. From the 18th century, the medieval period will be started. Modern period, that is just now we are here. So this three period will be broad division may mark the how the society will be, how the economy was, what is culture we are following, what changes are done in the society. This all will be studied according to this period. How this society was earlier, how the society was at the mid time, how the society was in the modern period. That will be studied in this chapter. So periodization in history has changed over the time. बहुत सारे पीरियड्स अपने देखे कि बहुत चेंजेस आया है हिस्ट्री में. पहले आपके पेन पेंसिल ब्लैक बोर्ड टीचर्स टीचिंग्स दैट वाज नॉट देयर, बट नाउ दिस वाज देयर. Earlier Britishers were there, but now Indians were there after independence. After independence, the modern period will become. So that will be history. In the ancient period, when the ancient period is there, changes occur after the arrival of Turks in India. When the Turks arrive, then we will start the medieval period. And at that time, medieval period has started when the Turks arrived in India. Nextly, it was given that medieval period changes when the arrival of Britishers is there. Britishers ne aaya, then it covers the modern period. Then after independence, after 18th century, taken as a starting point of modern period, where the industry, colonizations, and most of the development, progress, urbanizations, growth of the cities has been done. That will be a modern period. So when Turks come, medieval period will be there. When the Britishers comes, modern period will be there. Next topic which is given, that is, was the modern period really modern? क्या आप कह सकते हो कि जो मॉडर्न पीरियड है वो मॉडर्न नहीं है? No, we can't say strictly. Why? Because Britishers still treat us as a colony. Still treated us as a colony. So we cannot say that India will be a modern period. Is having in a modern period. हम नहीं कह सकते. True sense में नहीं कह सकते. Because still we are a colony of the Britishers. So time in history. How we are calculating time in history, which is given above? That we will calculate through the dates and years wise we are calculating the time. Like for example, revolts of 1857 is there. Any other revolts or year wise we will calculate our history. Now here 4 question arises. What happened? When did it happen? Where did it happen? how did it happen. Now to calculate the history timing, so कब हुआ था, कैसे हुआ था, कहाँ हुआ था और इनके आंसर हमें ढूंढने हैं. So they cannot be answered, but we cannot answer like we have to calculate something. So what happened उस टाइम पे में क्या हुआ था, कब हुआ था, कैसे हुआ था. We cannot answer this three question, but we can answer how did it happen. फाइटिंग हुई होगी, ब्रिटिशर्स की फाइटिंग हुई तो we get the independence. हाँ, इसका आंसर हम दे सकते हैं, but we cannot answer this three question. So can we put an exact date of British arrival? क्या हम कुछ कर सकते हैं कि कितने कब ब्रिटिशर्स आए थे, exactly कब आए थे? No. So time and history are calculated. We are calculating the time and history, but that is not a strictly truly concept to calculate the history. Okay. Till here time and history topic is covered. Next topic which is given, that is interpretation in history. So it differ in history as individuals and group interpreted events differently. Interpretation means कैसे कैसे आपने interpreted किया, how you are differently interpreted the history. तो somebody says नहीं ऐसा हुआ, somebody says ऐसा हुआ, लेकिन group of person ने interpret किया नहीं वैसा हुआ. So we taken the history like that only. So interpretation will be done in the history. हाँ हम interpretate किया exactly, तो हम नहीं बता सकते कि history में क्या हुआ. So we have done the interpretation of the history. Okay. Last topic which is given, that is sources of history. So there are two sources of history, archaeological and literary sources. Archaeological sources are given the less importance to calculate the history, which is not given in your book. We have studied this topic in 6th class also. Literary sources, 4 sources will be given in your book. Documents, literary sources means from by seeing the documents, reports, survey records, we calculate what type of history will be that time. इसके थ्रू हम कैलकुलेट कर सकते हैं. 4 sources is given to calculate the history. Nextly, official records reserve that national archives में रखे हुए हैं. Administrative reports will be there, official records of the Britishers, surveys, so on. That will be there, official records. So official records will be the history. Survey record, revenue record, tax record, population rate record. Furthermore, बहुत सारी चीजें आपकी जो records में रखी गई हैं, that will be a survey records. In the survey records, main topic is Britishers made a large number of topographic maps, topographic maps, in which the operation are also begin. The reports will also given how the survey like calculation will be done in the graph. So that will be, we can by that we can calculate the history. Last, indigenous records like diaries, accounts, books, newspaper, novels, through which we can calculate our history, like Dadabhai Naroji wrote poverty and British rule in India. Likewise, newspaper, first newspaper will be Kesari, and then Mahabharata was also written at that time. So through the indigenous records, we know the history. So by 4 sources, we know the history. हमको exactly नहीं पता history क्या है. हमने लिटरेरी सोर्स को देखा, ऑफिशियल रिकॉर्ड्स को देखा, सर्वे रिपोर्ट्स को वी हैव सीन, दैट इंडिजियस रिकॉर्ड्स वी हैव सीन. दिस आर द मटेरियल्स हाउ वी कैलकुलेट अवर हिस्ट्री. दिस आर ऑल आर द मटेरियल्स through which we have calculated our history. By this, the short summary of the chapter will be gets over.